Good morning, everybody. So when it comes to G.I. Joes, for me, there's very few things that are more satisfying than when they have a new waistband O-ring in them. So today there are 5 G.I. Joes here that I picked up recently, and I know at least 2 or 3 of them need new O-rings. So we're going to go ahead and redo all of them just because we're here. Now, of course, it's a struggle on some. Sometimes it's not so bad, but like this guy here, this is Ripper, I believe. He's a little loose, nothing too crazy. Then you got this guy. He's just over here dangling. Got 2 copies of this guy. This guy's actually pretty good shape. This one's a little more loose, nothing too bad. And then this guy here, he's a little loose too, but nothing too crazy. This guy for sure being the worst. And I don't know everybody's name. This guy had a tag in there saying what he was or who he was. So I did pick these up from a toy store, and not that they have time to do this per se. And of course I know it's overhead and things like that, but I would like to see when you go buy a G.I. Joe figure that it's all already done. You know, let's see here. This guy's Ripper here is not wanting to come apart. Typically, they just pop right apart here. Oh, there he goes. I'm trying to do it without breaking anything, of course. There we go. So, as we can see here, as it comes down and out, that is the old one, obviously worn into place, and this is the new one. I just bought a bag of 100. Man, probably, I'd say probably 4 years ago, at least 3 years ago, I had bought some Dukes of Hazzard figures. I had Bo and Luke Duke along with the General Lee, and they were the same setup as far as O-rings and everything. And I went ahead and replaced everything on them, got them back together the way they needed to be, and I think it was a $3 or $4 difference for 100 O-rings opposed to 10, which I only needed 2, but it's much easier to just buy a little extra, especially if you have the money to do so. And then you have them for instances like this. Now, of course, they try and kick around, of course. Like I say, sometimes it's a fight. And it's always a fight for me when I'm trying to record and do something. Then it makes me look like I have never done this before. But I have. I've done 3 or 4 more G.I. Joes this week, actually. Or the past 7 days, at least. Not this week. Today is Monday, Memorial Day. Happy Memorial Day to all of you out there. Thank you for everyone who has served, and hence the G.I. Joes. I guess it wasn't planned that way. So, try to make sure I do this down in front of the camera too. My screw's a little rusty there. There we go. Okay, so Ripper does look a lot better as far as his movement there. Obviously, that old band compared to a new one is night and day difference. I don't know if this was replaced at any other point in time. It looks fairly good as far as it's not dry rotted and stuff. It does have a few weak spots. There you go. So 1 down, 4 to go. If you've looked at the time on the video, it says 4 minutes, roughly 45 seconds. So that is not bad. I mean, like I say, I've done it before. I could do it faster, I'm sure, if I wasn't recording or trying to do it without messing stuff up, obviously. Like I had a couple of figures that their piece right here was broke, and I just wanted to replace it just to replace it so they'd look better. Not that they're worth more or less. I mean, these things are 50 cents a piece or something like that. I don't consider that making it a lot more valuable of a figure. It's just a nice thing that I can do for the next owner or next person that gets to play with it in general or collect it or whatnot. I don't, pose the Joes that I have. I don't set them up or nothing like that. I like having toys I had as a kid. If possible, I have a lot of turtles. I have a lot of Motu, which I didn't have much Motu. I think my older cousins did growing up, which may be what I remember, but by the time I was old enough to know what cartoons and stuff was, I was 100% turtles. Nothing else. Well, this one's going to fight me a little more. Right there around the center section of his abdomen piece. Yumming. Trying to do this without, like I say, breaking the... There we go. And what I do is I'll obviously pull the old O-ring off, put the new one on, get it fed up through the abdomen, or the buttocks piece, to be politically correct, I guess. And then I fit it on the back. And that way I can fit the arms on here and so on and so forth. It's a little easier for me at least. This is not even a guide. This is just, if you like G.I. Joes, thanks for watching. If you don't, hopefully you like G.I. Joes now. If you think I'm doing a good job or a bad job, either way, let me know. Doesn't hurt my feelings. I'm happy with criticism until you start cussing at me, but I can ignore you pretty good for a while. So this guy's night and day difference. I mean, look at him. His legs don't just sit there and dangle like he's Elvis. He doesn't have the Elvis leg. Just willy-nilly. So get his little cape back on him here. And I remember this guy from the show, the cartoon stuff back in the day. I just don't remember his name. We'll do this guy here. A couple of them have the loose heads like this. It doesn't bother me. Like I say, I don't pose my Joes or nothing, so. I just enjoy having the older toys. I think I enjoy the idea of sharing them with my grandsons. I know I enjoyed the idea of sharing with my son when he was youngest, and then my sons when they were younger. And I shared my turtles with my youngest, shared my Halo figures with my two older boys. And so that one looks fairly new, but it is not, you can still tell it's not the same. Look at that, that's a little more worn out. It's been replaced at some time, but it's also not the same. Maybe it was the same diameter, just kind of broke down a little bit. So that's still a good one to keep per se, just as a backup if you have, if I was to run out of the package here. But I don't figure I'm going to anytime soon. And if I do get close, I'm just going to order a new set. I also played Legos with the kids. A lot of video games, but overall, I wanted to relive the days of action figures, and this and that. And they were not as into it until, like I say, the older two boys got into Halo, and that was right as I come into the picture. I was like, man, I got some Halo figures. Here you go. Now, my middle son, he loves action figures to collect as well as to, set up and display, not necessarily play with anymore. But, oh man, if I can get you into this kind of stuff, teach you how to do repairs and stuff like that. Not that it's it's not a high-paying job or nothing, obviously. I'm doing this for the thrill of it, or the satisfaction of it, knowing it's done. But it's something we could share together. It's always nice. There we go. And of course, I don't torque those down real hard. I don't want to bust the screw section in the chest piece that it goes into. So here we are, 11 minutes 20 seconds in roughly, and I've got 3 done, so that's an average of 3 minutes a piece. I guess it has been like say 5 or 6 days since I did the other ones. That's another rusty screw. If I had replacement screws, I would gladly be replacing those as well. Just peace of mind for me as far as it'll look better. If the next person has to get in here in however many years and they know they've taken care of it, I don't want to be like, man, that guy sold me a junky old G.I. Joe. So let's see, this was a good O-ring right there on the top side. I guess I'm out of frame again, my bad. Good O-ring, but then you get down here to where it was already splitting. So that's barely held together. So I'm trying to hold these up where I can see them, but also where they're in camera view. And I ended up holding them too high, so I apologize for that. My GoPro is indisposed, so I'm using my phone. Let's see, that's the chest. There you go. That's what I thought. And I don't even remember if I watched a video on how to do this or if I just started doing it. I mean, it's one screw and a couple of arms and stuff. I mean, I don't figure it could be too hard, right? But then again, we are working with 40-plus-year-old plastic in some cases. These are all from the 80's, so they're resilient though. Look at that thing. He is fighting the crap out of me here. But they can be brittle. They can be already broke. I've had dadgum head is gonna fall out every time. I've had some that the chest piece was already broke as far as where the screw goes in at, so I couldn't do much with it. I took it apart and used it for parts. Ordered more parts if I need to. I try and do that as much as possible. I don't want to leave a incomplete Joe laying around. Okay. Now I got this dude snapped together, and he doesn't have his head in here or his arm. And it is just going to fight me. Now normally, if I'm working on something and I get to this point where it's fighting me, I typically have to step away or I throw something. Well, if I throw something, it's going to be a little head like this for a G.I. Joe that I'm liable to never see again. Although right now, that's not a bad thing, I think. There we go. He's He's fighting me for sure, but when it comes to real tiny things like this that I lose parts on, or I end up start dropping stuff like that head and the arm and stuff that just did not want to work for me, it gets under my skin quick. So now this guy, he had the best band in him. I'm expecting that one to be fairly new as well. He both these two that match were in the same package for $20, and had a few weapons with them, so I was happy with that. It feels like that screw may be stripped out. If that's the case, we'll just go ahead and stop the video here, because I don't know where another screwdriver is. Maybe it's been replaced, because it's a little, the tip of this Phillips head here is a little too pointed for this screw, I believe. Nope, there he goes. Okay. It is a replacement screw, or a very good shape one. Look at that dude. Super shiny. So, other than that, I hope you're enjoying the video. We're at 16 minutes, 24 seconds right now. So again, that's our average is still about 4 minutes per Joe. If you're sitting down doing a lot, that's not too bad, I guess. So again, that O-ring's got a little form to it where it's already started to bend around from the pressure, but it still feels good as far as the tension on it and things like that. It's probably a good backup. Again, I probably won't keep it myself, but if you chose to, you know, it would be usable. And then let's see here. Let's see if we can get this one together without having to fight it like we fought the other one. Oh. Get the head to go on right. Man, why didn't the other one want to go like that? That's going to be the screw again. There it goes. Maybe that screw wasn't tight. It didn't feel it before. Still doesn't feel like it's tightened up. Maybe the wrong size screw. I'll have to look at that in the future. But there we go. 5 Joes in under 20 minutes. Nothing crazy. Just a little upgrade for them. I did not get stands for these guys. Like I say, I don't pose my Joes, but we may find those to put with them. That way they can go to the next owners and have them. So thanks for tuning in. It's a small little tutorial of how we do try and take care of the stuff that we get rid of here, or we sell here. And thanks for tuning in, and we hope to see you again.